A reading from the second book of Maccabees. It happened that 7 brothers with their mother were arrested and tortured with whips and scourges by the king to force them to eat pork in violation of God's law. Most admirable and worthy of everlasting remembrance was the mother, who saw her 7 sons perish in a single day, yet bore it courageously because of her hope in the Lord. Filled with a noble spirit that stirred her womanly heart with manly courage, she exhorted each of them in the language of their ancestors with these words: I do not know how you came into existence in my womb. It was not I who gave you the breath of life, nor was it I who set in order the elements of which each of you is composed. Therefore, since it is the Creator of the universe who shapes each man's beginning, as he brings about the origin of everything, he, in his mercy, will give you back both breath and life, because you now disregard yourselves for the sake of his law. Antiochus, suspecting insult in her words, thought he was being ridiculed. As the youngest brother was still alive, the king appealed to him, not with mere words, but with promises on oath, to make him rich and happy if he would abandon his ancestral customs. He would make him his friend and entrust him with high office. When the youth paid no attention to him at all, the king appealed to the mother, urging her to advise her boy to save his life. After he had urged her for a long time, she went through the motions of persuading her son. In derision of the cruel tyrant, she leaned over close to her son and said in their native language, Son, have pity on me, who carried you in my womb for 9 months, nursed you for 3 years, brought you up, educated and supported you to your present age. I beg you, child, to look at the heavens and the earth and see all that is in them. Then you will know that God did not make them out of existing things, and in the same way the human race came into existence. Do not be afraid of this executioner, but be worthy of your brothers and accept death, so that in the time of mercy I may receive you again with them. She had scarcely finished speaking when the youth said, What are you waiting for? I will not obey the king's command. I obey the command of the law given to our fathers through Moses. But you, who have contrived every kind of affliction for the Hebrews, will not escape the hands of God. The word of the Lord.
The responsorial psalm. The response is, Lord, when your glory appears, my joy will be full. Hear, O Lord, a just suit. Attend to my outcry. Hearken to my prayer from lips without deceit. Lord, when your glory appears, my joy will be full. My steps have been steadfast in your paths. My feet have not faltered. I call upon you, for you will answer me, O God. Incline your ear to me, hear my word. Lord, when your glory appears, my joy will be full. Keep me as the apple of your eye. Hide me in the shadow of your wings. But I in justice shall behold your face. On waking, I shall be content in your presence. Lord, when your glory appears, my joy will be full.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. While people were listening to Jesus speak, he proceeded to tell a parable, because he was near Jerusalem, and they thought that the kingdom of God would appear there immediately. So he said, a nobleman went off to a distant country to obtain the kingship for himself, and then to return. He called 10 of his servants and gave them 10 gold coins, and told them, engage in trade with these until I return. His fellow citizens, however, despised him, and sent a delegation after him to announce, we do not want this man to be our king. But when he returned after obtaining the kingship, he had the servants called to whom he had given the money, to learn what they had gained by trading. The first came forward and said, Sir, your gold coin has earned 10 additional ones. He replied, Well done, good servant. You have been faithful in this small matter. take charge of 10 cities. Then the second came and reported, Your gold coin, sir, has earned 5 more. And to this servant too he said, You take charge of 5 cities. Then the other servant came and said, Sir, here is your gold coin. I kept it stored away in a handkerchief, for I was afraid of you, because you are a demanding man. You take up what you did not lay down, and you harvest what you did not plant. He said to him, With your own words I shall condemn you, you wicked servant. You knew I was a demanding man, taking up what I did not lay down, and harvesting what I did not plant. Why did you not put my money in a bank? Then on my return I would have collected it with interest. And to those standing by he said, Take the gold coin from him and give it to the servant who has 10. But they said to him, Sir, he has 10 gold coins. He replied, I tell you, to everyone who has, more will be given. But from the one who has not, even what he has will be taken away. Now as for those enemies of mine who did not want me as their king, bring them here and slay them before me. After he had said this, he proceeded on his journey up to Jerusalem. The Gospel of the Lord.
The first reading comes from 2 Maccabees 7, verse 1 and verses 20 to 31. This is the story of the mother who has 7 children, 7 sons, all of whom are persecuted for being Jewish. Remember, King Antiochus Epiphanes of the Seleucid Empire had decided that everybody in the empire should be one faith, one philosophy, one language. They should adopt Greek culture, Hellenistic culture. Well, these 7 sons refused to do it. They refused to eat pork. And one after another, they're tortured and killed in the sight of the mother. The mother proves to be incredibly courageous. When all the sons are killed, she too is killed for giving witness to her faith. They are able to withstand this persecution because they firmly believe in the resurrection of the just, that God will overturn the judgment of these evil pagan officials and will reward the 7 sons and the mother. The Gospel is from Luke 19, 11 to 28. This is the story of a nobleman who's called to be made a king in a distant land, and like the parable which dealt with the 5 talents, 3 talents, and 1 talent, in this case, servants are given coins. The one who was given 10 coins earns another 10. The one who's given 5 coins earns another 5. The one who's been given 1 coin buries it in the ground. And because of that, he's punished. He didn't use the talents that God had given him. He didn't use the ability that he had been given to serve the community. Therefore, he would be punished. At the end of the story, we hear that those who didn't want this nobleman as king would be slain and their cities destroyed. Jesus says this right before he goes to Jerusalem, where in fact the people will accept him on Palm Sunday, but then shortly after reject him. They are the people whose city would be destroyed. In fact, the Gospel of Luke was written about a decade after the destruction of Jerusalem. So we see the fulfillment of this prophecy, and that's why this particular prophecy was included in the Gospel, because Luke knew that it did take place. And may God bless us.